We're here now. We are here now. This is a great opportunity for the American boxing fan base to support one of our own. You've heard me mention time and time again that that's one of the staggering issues that lingers in the boxing community here in America, is that overall, as a whole, as a boxing community, we tend to have some levels of inconsistencies when it comes to supporting our own. And so now this is a time that we can all stand together in unison and be patriotic in supporting one of our own. And I'm talking about Cool Boy Steph, who we affectionately call Scooter here in the great city of Philadelphia. Now, yes, it is true that he is the underdog in this fight, according to the betting odds. Yes, it is true he is fighting in Japan. And yes, it is true that he's fighting against a knockout artist. Those three things are facts. They are true. But the great thing I love about all three of those truths is that those three truths parallel with another fighter who had those same three truths stacked against him. And I'm talking about James Buster Douglas. Yes, he was the underdog. Yes, he fought in Japan. And yes, he fought against a knockout artist. Y'all remember in February of 1990? Y'all remember that? When Buster Douglas beat that knockout artist known as the Hall of Fame legend Mike Tyson. Y'all remember that? Yeah, he was a 42-1 underdog in that fight. And they fought in Japan. Well, history will be made again in Japan, because there's going to be four things that Scooter and James Buster Douglas will have in common. And that fourth thing is winning the fight. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to be easy for Scooter to beat Inoue. I am not saying it's going to be easy. But Scooter beat the odds in his life time and time again. And it wasn't easy for him to get to where he is today. It wasn't easy for him to be unified as the champion. It wasn't easy for him to defeat Figueroa. It wasn't easy for him in his upbringing here in this city. And of course, it's not going to be easy for him in Japan, especially when there's a controversy brewing right now, where there's some alleged, I got to use the word alleged, stacking of the hand wraps that brings concern about Inoue's team in his corner, where there has been several complaints of Inoue having tape, not just one piece of tape, which is customary, but rolls of tape, pieces of rolls of tape on his skin before the gauze even get on. Then the gauze and then the tape again. And we know what happens when you stack in boxing with the hand wraps as the rounds progress. Right? Perspiration happens. What happens with the hand wraps then? They get hard. And all of a sudden now, it forms into a cast, better known as plaster of Paris. But the great thing about this scenario, if it is allegedly true that Inoue has a history of it, or they're trying to do it in this fight against Scooter, the great thing is that the legend, Danny Davis, is in the corner of Scooter, Cool Boy Steph. And Danny Davis, who was on this channel months ago, whom I've interviewed, and who have an extensive background and expertise in multiple positions in the great sport of boxing. He was the mentee under the tutelage of the great brother Nazim Richardson. God rest his soul. And y'all know who brother Nazim Richardson was, right? Yeah, he's the one that stopped that controversy in the dressing room when Tito Trinidad and them tried it when they was fighting Bernard Hopkins. And you seen the outcome of that fight, right? Oh, okay. He's also the same one that stopped that controversy in the dressing room of Antonio Margarito when he was in Shane Mosley's corner. You know, when Margarito was using plaster of Paris in most of his fights, even the one against Cotto the first time. Yeah, I'm talking about him. Yeah. Nazim spotted that out, and he killed that controversy. And y'all seen the outcome of that fight as well. In fact, he was even hired by Team Miguel Cotto in the second fight against Margarito to make sure that they don't try that move again. And y'all also seen the results and outcome of that fight. And so Danny Davis have been brought up by a legend who taught him the game when it comes to hand wrapping. And guess what? He has his own business called Wraps and Cuts. Y'all go check him out. But he is an expert. And Scooter and Team Fulton made a great decision in bringing him a part of this camp and bringing him along to make sure no funny business and controversy happened in the dressing room before this fight when it comes to the hand wrapping of Inoue. Bottom line is this. We support our world champions here in America, and history will be made again. And no, the road is not going to be easy. But Scooter will come out victorious in this fight. And we need all the Americans who support the great sport of boxing to support this fight and support this young world champion. Because the thing about it is this. No disrespect or not to take nothing away from Inoue. But all them punches and that right hand, that big right hand he got, that he been landing on people that stand in front of him, Scooter won't stand in front of him for the duration of the fight. Scooter is an all-complete fighter. Good ring generalship, good defense, knows how to box, and he knows how to bang. Now, he might not be a power puncher like most people, most fans, casual fans anyway, they don't know too much about the technical idiosyncrasies of the sport of boxing. They just want to see knockouts. But no, you don't always have to be no knockout artist to be successful in this sport, and Scooter proved that. I'm not going to sit here and say it's going to be easy. It's not. But we've seen Cool Boy Steph beat the odds in his life, beat the odds in this city, beat the odds against Figueroa. And he's going to beat the odds tomorrow when he makes history in Japan again, like James Buster Douglas did when the odds were stacked against him, when he was fighting in another country, and when he was fighting against a knockout artist. And so tune in live if you can, because I think the fight's going to be in the morning time. There's a 13-hour difference from certain parts here in the country compared to Japan. But this is the great time for Americans who love this great sport of boxing to root for and support our very own unified world champion, Scooter, Cool Boy Steph Fulton.